attention now to Massachusetts, where a judge has revoked bail for Aiden Kearney, also known online as TurtleBoy, after he was hit with some new charges.
Yeah, reports say the controversial blogger was arrested Tuesday and charged with assault and battery of a member of a household and intimidation of a witness.
Prosecutor.
What's up, guys? True Crime King back. How we doing? All right, so it looks like I might have found another clown YouTuber. So he goes by the name TurtleBoy. Shout out Tony, one of my subscribers. He wanted me to do a reaction to this guy. So Aiden Kearney is his name, and as we just heard, he has been arrested for not so good charges, right? Let's hear the charges one more time.
Yeah, reports say the controversial blogger was arrested Tuesday and charged with assault and battery of a member of a household and
assault and battery of a member of a household. So either his significant other or his kids, right? So this must be another JB Gunner type of dude, a total clown, right? A coward, right? It must have been assault on a woman or a child, right? Or your kid, either one. That's coward activity, and he's a clown.
And intimidation of a witness.
Prosecutors say that he shoved his ex-girlfriend, who was a witness in the ongoing murder investigation of a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe. Now, investigators...
He shoved his freaking girlfriend. What a coward, right? Probably because she was going to testify against him. She was a witness.
Believe O'Keefe was killed by his girlfriend, Karen Reed, outside of a home back in January of 2022.
Let's listen now as our Court TV's own Chanley Painter has a closer look at the case.
John O'Keefe was a good cop, and he was a good man. That's why my client was with him.
Karen Reed is accused of causing the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, after a night of heavy drinking. Prosecutors claim Reed backed her car into O'Keefe during a snowstorm and left him to die. But Reed's defense says the Commonwealth has it all wrong.
With each new piece of evidence that comes in, we're more and more convinced of my client's innocence.
O'Keefe's snow-covered body was found outside the home of another officer in Canton, Massachusetts. According to the prosecution's statement of the case, the couple was invited to the house after the bars in downtown Canton closed. Witnesses told investigators they last saw the couple at the Waterfall Bar and Grill. Others said they saw a black SUV resembling Reed's parked outside the house, but never saw O'Keefe come inside. Reed told investigators that she dropped him off at the after party and never heard from him again.
She went home to take care of the kids, and then she called him 49 times. Where are you? Why aren't you back? She was the one to go back to that residence to look for him. She was the one to find him. She was the one to try and keep him warm and give him CPR and try and revive him.
But
I don't know. I'm gonna have to start looking into this Karen Reed case. This sounds pretty suspicious.
Norfolk County prosecutors question those actions. They claim voicemails and text messages detail strains in the relationship and the victim's desire to end their relationship, including a voicemail from the night he died in which Reed allegedly told O'Keefe that she hated him.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good relationship, does it?
Also, O'Keefe's niece and nephew who lived with him allegedly told police that the couple fought constantly about the relationship and breaking up before his death. Prosecutors point to a broken taillight on Reed's SUV, pieces of which were allegedly found near O'Keefe's body, to suggest she ran her car into him. A forensic pathologist opined that significant blunt force trauma injuries occurred prior to Mr. O'Keefe becoming hypothermic.
So that means he was probably hit by the car, right? Enough to either knock him totally unconscious or so he couldn't move, and then he eventually died just from laying out there, right? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some research. I don't want to just make a video without doing my due diligence, like a lot of other people, right?
Cuts and bruises were found on O'Keefe's head and arm.
Somebody being hit by a car, I would submit, does not look like they had been punched out by Mike Tyson. And the victim here looked like he had been punched out by Mike Tyson.
Reed's lawyer, David Yannetti, says his client is not responsible for O'Keefe's injuries.
I believe that the evidence shows that she didn't hit him. I've said in the past that his injuries are not consistent with being hit by a vehicle. And by the way, the Lexus taillight breaking, coming in contact with a human being and not a hard surface, makes no sense to me.
That is a good point. Those blinker, them headlight covers, they're pretty resilient, right? Usually you would have to hit some kind of hard surface. Maybe a kneecap or an elbow, right? Or a skull, right? At the right angle, and if the car was going, fast enough with enough force, I mean, it's definitely possible. But he does bring up a good point there.
I think it's going to make no sense to a jury.
If not Reed, who? Her lawyer says that there's a lot they still don't know.
This is a case where the homeowner, being a Boston police officer, was treated differently than he would have been if he were you or me.
Reed is due back in court January 5th for a pretrial.
What does he mean by that, though? What kind of special treatment could the homeowner get? He's not really even involved too much in the case. Unless they're looking at him as a suspect, right? But like I said, I'm going to start doing some research on this case. If you guys have any thoughts, I'll put them down below.
Hearing, and of course, Court TV will be there covering that for you. Still with us, we have criminal defense attorneys Lori McMurray and Eklund Mercy. Lori, let me start with you, please. This TurtleBoy, he keeps coming up. We know there was witness tampering that he was charged with. The grand jury returned even more charges against him, and now this separate domestic incident he's been charged with. And
wow, so this TurtleBoy had more charges before this. It just sounds like trouble, man.
I question the motive or why he's so passionately involved defending Karen Reed in this case.
Yeah.
I think we can all question that motive, but he reminds me of like the First Amendment auditors, where he's going out there and he gets a little bit of attention and he tries really hard to maintain that same level of attention. And he got a little bit overzealous. He got some attention. He was on Court TV one night when I was on with Vinnie Politan. So he got the attention. He was doing some good work, but then it just didn't become enough for him. He kept pushing and really either truly believes in her innocence or truly believes in the fame and the notoriety that comes along.
Yeah, he looks like a guy. What else would this guy be gaining, right? He's doing this to benefit himself in some way, right? Obviously, he's trying to get more views on his YouTube channel and more subscribers, right? He might just be a guy that likes this attention. Look at him here, right? He's in the center of everybody with his little loudspeaker, right? and I can't make an opinion yet because this is my first video seeing or hearing about this guy, but that's a good point.
With being in the position that he was in, and he just got carried away with it and took it a little too far.
He really hasn't shied away from being a controversial figure when it comes to this quest that many people have joined to say that this charge against Karen Reed is unjust. Now, as you mentioned, Lori, he's been on court TV before. We have a clip of him responding to those witness tampering charges that relate to the murder trial, so separate from the new domestic violence charges that are reportedly against him now. But let's take a listen back to
the one thing I hate and can't stand the most, and I'll go after, I don't care who it is anybody that beats a woman or a child. I mean, that is just the ultimate, just like J.B. Gunner, right? Coward. They act all tough, right? But then when it comes down to it, they're small men, okay? I just can't stand it.
what he had to say about why he was being scrutinized for the witness tampering.
Every morning I film myself at the bus stop. I live stream myself at the bus stop because if the police are going to pick me up again, which
Okay, yeah, this is TurtleBoy.
they probably will. There's talk about indictment. They're probably going to do it in front of the kids because they want maximum shock effect. They want to basically demoralize you and make it so that you don't want to continue. But so I film it every day just in case they do show up this time. Last time they caught me unprepared. This time I won't be. So
I think he might be filming it again. He's obviously filming it to put it on YouTube, right? And he's obviously filming it for the attention.
getting by.
I mean, if he was just doing it for the police, then he wouldn't be putting it all on his YouTube channel, right?
Eklund, he says that he's the one who is being targeted because he is coming against prosecutors and police and these charges on behalf of Karen Reed. Your thoughts?
No, men with podcasts. I think that I've seen it often. It's like you have, just a little justified. You feel justified, and it takes you on a road. Fame is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with a lot of these other content creators. They think they're so special because they're getting more views than somebody. Give me a freaking break, right? We're all human. We're all gonna die someday. The last thing I care about is how many freaking views I get, right? I get on here and I speak how I feel, and I don't bullshit you guys, and I just give you the straight facts, right? I don't try and just speculate or make shit up. I just tell you the fucking truth,
And once you get a little bit of taste of it, it just takes you to wherever. And he just needs a few therapy sessions. I think that it's great that it happened before trial. That
No, he needs an ass whooping is what he needs for beating his girlfriend. That's what he really needs.
He's been, I think that putting him on.
He might get it in jail. Hopefully somebody. I can't say that on YouTube. I don't wish harm on him.
Is definitely necessary so that Miss Reed can have a proper trial, but it happens often. It sucks, but it happens often.
And I think that description fits what a lot of viewers have thought as well as they're watching. But back to the Karen Reed part, Lori, and the fact that so many believe she's innocent and this is a cover-up by the Boston Police Department.
Okay. See, here we go again, though. Man, there's always going to be, in all these big cases, there's always going to be these Looney Tunes out here that think that there's a cover-up, okay? Yeah. That's why I'm going to have to do some research because we all know with the Go-Burger case how many Looney Tunes there are out there. So, obviously everybody's different. So everybody's going to think differently, right?
This is one in which I see that evidence could go either way, not having seen all of the evidence.
Yeah, but this one does sound a lot more up in the air than obviously the Idaho 4 one. That's based, to me, that's wrapped up. This one, the Karen Reed, might be more of a 50-50. There's not an eyewitness as far as I know. There's no sheath with any DNA on it, right? So yeah, this one's going to be tough.
Evidence yet? What do you think? Do you think she has a pretty good case to say it wasn't me? I'm going to point the finger. It's a cover-up.
Listen, I did a deep dive on this case whenever I was making a video about it, and it led me to TurtleBoy. That's where I got a lot of my information. So I think anybody who is following this case and trying to read up on what the allegations of police misconduct are will lead you to him. But the problem is that we're taking those allegations that he makes and we're reading those, and we're not looking at the state side, because the state doesn't have.
Yeah, but does he have any evidence to back up anything that he's saying, right? I mean, obviously, if there's evidence that police, covered something up, then they did it, right? But if he's just out there saying or accusing the police, that's a whole totally different thing. That's just someone looking for attention and trying to get subscribers.
Have a blogger. He's outside the courtroom rallying troops. He's been there with his megaphone. You see him there in that photo, rallying them up, asking for.
And look at his little friend there holding his little smartphone on his little smartphone stand with his little smirk. I think, obviously they know each other and they probably are friends, right? And he knows what TurtleBoy's actually doing this for, all right? And he's got that stupid smirk on his face. This guy just looks like a total look at me guy, narcissistic. That's just my first impressions. Like I said, I'm gonna do a deeper dive in the coming days.
Chance for Karen Reed, and it's a great support system for her. But now we get to focus on what the law actually is. We get to focus on having a just trial, which she should want just as much as the state should want. That's all any attorney, whether you're state or defense, should want, is a just and fair trial. And having that circus outside the courtroom is showing a little bit of bias, and definitely would be some pretrial publicity that would maybe.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you're a juror and you gotta go into the court every day, and then you see this massive crowd out there that wants Miss Reed acquitted, right? That might have an effect on a lot of jurors, right? So, and especially if there's not any direct evidence, if it's all circumstantial, that's gonna be hard to convict her. But I mean, they had enough to arrest her, so like I said, I got to do some more research. But if anybody else, if any of you out there knows more about this, put it in the comments.
Hurt or hinder a fair trial.
You absolutely don't want to get in the way of a fair trial. There have been some scrutiny of TurtleBoy for making comments when the family of this murdered cop go into the courtroom and go into the courthouse. So definitely don't want a circus, just like Lawyer Lori is saying. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But it's almost like we have two different trials going on right now.
I agree. And
yeah, well, I mean, he he obviously pushed his girlfriend, right? And he's been charged and convicted of numerous other things. So I already don't like the dude. That's just my opinion. But like I said, I'm gonna do some more research. I'm gonna start doing some videos on this Karen Reed case. Maybe switch it up from the Idaho 4, since obviously there's a gag order and we're not gonna be, you know, learning any new info on that case. But I'll still be calling out these clowns that are just putting this crap out there. But anyway, have a good day, guys. Until next time, True Crime King out.